Save files in graphics format. Save files in graphics format. As of the 2015 release of Photoshop CC, the file, by the way, save for web option has been moved to file, then export, and then save for web legacy, alongside newer export options. And to learn more about these new export options, you should see export artboards and layers and more. And you can also easily save your Photoshop image files to a wide array of popular image formats. So what about save in TIFF format? Save in TIFF format. TIFF format is flexible, by the way, raster bitmap image format supported by virtually all paint and image and editing and page layout applications. We have two steps here now. Step number 1, you should choose file firstly, then select save as, then choose TIFF format from the format menu, and then click save. Step number 2, in the TIFF options dialog box, you should select the options you want and then click OK. And what about bit depths? Bit depths 32 bytes only. Specifies, by the way, the byte depths like 16 or 24 or 32 bytes of the saved image. And what about image compression? Image compression is meaning that it specifies a method for compressing the composite image data. And if you are saving a 32 byte TIFF format file, you can specify, by the way, that the file be saved with Predictor compression, but you don't have the option to use JPEG compression. And Predictor compression offers improved compression by rearranging floating point values, by the way, and works with both LZW and ZIP compression, zip compression. Note here please now, note and be careful. By the way, JPG compression is available only for OPQ, RGB and grayscale images that are 8 bytes per channel and no more than 30,000 pixels wide or high. So what about pixel order? Pixel order is meaning that writes the TIFF format file for the channel's data interleaved or organized by plan. Previously, Photoshop, by the way, always wrote TIFF files with the channel order interleaved. And theoretically, the planar order file can be read, by the way, and written faster and offers a little better compression, both channel orders and backwards, compatible with earlier versions of Photoshop. And what about byte order? Byte order is meaning that selects the platform on which the file can be read. This option, by the way, is useful when you don't know what program the file may be opened in. And Photoshop and most recent applications can read the files, by the way, using either IBM, PC or Macintosh byte order. And what about save image pyramid? Save image pyramid is meaning that preserves multi-resolution information, and Photoshop doesn't provide options, by the way, for opening multi-resolution files, and the image opens at the highest resolution within the file. However, Adobe InDesign and some image servers provide support for opening multi-resolution formats. So what about save transparency? Save transparency is meaning that pre-service transparency as an additional alpha channel with the file is opened in another application, and transparency is always preserved when the file is reopened in Photoshop. And what about layer compression? Layer compression is meaning that specifies a method for compressing data for pixels in layers, and as opposite to composite data. Many applications, by the way, cannot read layer data and skip over it. And when opening a TIFF file, Photoshop, by the way, however, can read layer data in TIFF files. Also, files that include layer data are larger than those that don't saving layer data, and eliminates the need to save and manage a separate BSD file to hold the layer data. And then choose discard layers and save a copy if you want to flatten the image. And note here please now, and be careful to have Photoshop prompt you before saving an image with multiple layers. You should select ask before saving layered TIFF files in the file handling area of the preferences dialog box. And so what about save in JPG format? So what about save in JPG format? By the way, you can use the save as command to save CMYK and RGB and grayscale images in JPG format. And the JPG compresses file size by selectively discarding data, by the way. And you can also save an image as one or more JPG using the file. Then select export, then select save for web legacy command. And the JPG supports only 8-byte images, by the way. And if you save a 16-byte image to this format, by the way, Photoshop automatically lowers the byte depth. And to quickly save a medium quality JPG, you should to play the save as JPG medium action on the file. And after that, you can access the action by choosing production from the actions panel menu. We have two steps here now again. Step number 1. You should to choose file firstly, then you choose save as, and then select JPG from the format menu. Step number 2. In the JPG options dialog box, you should to select the options you want and then click OK. And you have many options here. The first option is matte. Matte is meaning that offers matte color choices to simulate the appearance of background transparency in images that contain transparency. And the next option, image options. Image options is meaning that specifies the image quality. Then choose an option from the quality menu. And after that, drag the quality pop-up menu slider or enter a value between 0 and 12 in the quality text box. The next option, format options, is meaning that specifies the format of your JPG file. Baseline standard uses a format recognized by most web browsers. And the baseline, by the way, optimized creates a file with optimized color and a slightly smaller file size, progressive displays, and a series of increasingly detailed versions of the image. And you specify how many as it downloads. And not all web browsers, by the way, support optimized and progressive JPG images. And not here in this point, please. By the way, some applications may not be able to read a CMYK file saved in JPG format. Likewise, if you find that a Java application can't read a JPG file, you should to try saving the file without a thumbnail preview, by the way. And what about saving in PNG format? What about saving in PNG format? By the way, you can use the save as command to save RGB, indexed color, and grayscale and bitmap mode images in PNG format. We have steps. 3 steps here now. Step number 1, you should choose file firstly, then select save as, and then choose PNG from the format menu. Step number 2, you should select an interlace option, and then we have 2 options here now. None is meaning that displays the image in a browser only when download is complete. And interlaced is meaning that displays low resolution versions of the image in a browser as the file downloads, and interlacing makes the download time seem shorter, by the way, but it also increases file size. Step number 3, click OK. And not here in this point. Beginning with the Photoshop CC 2015 release, you can export artboards, by the way, and layers, and layer groups, or documents as JPG and GIF and PNG and PNG 8 or SVG images. And then select the items in the layers panel, and then right click the selection, and then select quick export or export as from the context menu. How to save in GIF format. How to save in GIF format, GIF. By the way, you can use the save as command to save a Photoshop document with one or more frames as animated GIF. We have steps. Step number 1, you should choose file firstly, then save as, then choose GIF from the format menu. Step number 2, specify options in the GIF save options dialog box. like this next screenshot. This image now, this screenshot explain for you how to choose GIF save options format. This is dialog box explain for you GIF save options dialog box. And number 3, click OK. And how to save in Photoshop EBS format. How to save in Photoshop EBS format. By the way, virtually all page layout, word processing, and graphics applications accept imported or placed EBS. Encapsulated PostScript files to print EBS files, and you should use a PostScript printer, by the way, and non-PostScript printers will print only the screen resolution preview. We have two steps only. The first steps here now. You should choose file firstly, then choose save as, then choose Photoshop EBS from the format menu. Step number 2, in the EBS options dialog box, you should select the options you want and then click OK. And we have many options here actually. Preview, its meaning creates a low resolution image to view in the destination application, and then choose TIFF to share an EBS file between Windows and Mac OS systems. And an 8-byte preview is in color and 1-byte preview in black and white with a gadget appearance, and 8-byte preview creates a larger file size, by the way, and 1-byte preview and see also byte depth. And what about encoding? Encoding is meaning that determines the way image data is delivered to a PostScript output device, and the encoding options are described below, by the way. What about include halftone, screen, and include transfer function? It's meaning that, by the way, control print specifications for high-end commercial print jobs, and consult your printer before selecting these options, by the way. And what about transparent whites? What's the meaning of transparent whites? It's meaning that displays white areas as transparent, and this option, by the way, is available only for images in bitmap mode. And what about PostScript color management? It's meaning that PostScript color management converts file data to the printer's color space, and don't select this option, by the way, if you plan to place the image in another color managed document. And do not here, please, and be careful. Only PostScript level 3 printers support PostScript and color management for CMYK images. And to print a CMYK image using PostScript color management on a level 2 printer, you should convert the image to lab mode before saving in EBS format. And what about include vector data? Include vector data is meaning that preserves any vector graphics such as shapes and type in the file. However, vector data in EBS and DCS files is available only, by the way, to other applications. And vector data is rasterized if you reopen the file in Photoshop. This option, by the way, only available if your file contains vector data, by the way. And what about image interpolation? Image interpolation is meaning that applies bitmap interpolation to smooth the low resolution preview if printed. And what about Photoshop EBS encoding options? Photoshop EBS encoding options, we have many options here. 3 options only. The first option, ASCII or ASCII 85, is meaning that encodes if you are printing from a Windows system, or if you experience printing errors or other difficulties. The second option, binary. Binary is meaning that produces a smaller file and leaves the original data intact. However, some page layout applications and some commercial print spooling and network printing software may not support binary Photoshop EBS files, by the way. And the next options, JPEG. JPEG is meaning compresses the file by discarding some image data, and you can choose the amount of JPEG compression from very little JPEG maximum quality to a lot JPEG low quality, and the files with JPEG encoding can be printed, by the way, only on a level 2 or later, and the PostScript printers, and may not separate into individual plates. How to save in Photoshop DCS format. How to save in Photoshop DCS format. By the way, DCS format, desktop color separations format, is a version of ABS that lets you save color separations of CMYK or multi-channel files. We have steps. Step number 1. You should choose file firstly, then choose Save As and choose Photoshop DCS 1.0 or Photoshop DCS 2.0 from the format menu. And step number 2, in the DCS format dialog box, you should select the options you want and then click OK. And by the way, the dialog box includes all the options available for Photoshop EBS files, by the way, and additionally, the DCS menu gives you the options of creating 72 ppi composite file that can be placed, by the way, in a page layout application or used to proof the image. And what about DCS 1.0 format? DCS 1.0 format is meaning that creates one file for each color channel in a CMYK image, and you can also create a fifth file, by the way, and grayscale or color composite to view the composite file, and you must keep all 5 files, by the way, in the same folder. And what's the meaning of DCS 2.0 format? It's meaning that returns spot color channels in the image, and you can save the color channels as multiple files, by the way, and as for DCS 1.0 or as a single file, and as a single file option saves the disk space, and you can also include a grayscale or color composite. How to save in Photoshop RAW format? How to save in Photoshop RAW format? By the way, the Photoshop RAW format is a file format for transferring images between applications and computer platforms. And the Photoshop RAW format is not the same as Camera Raw, by the way. We have steps again. Step number 1. Choose file firstly, then choose Save As and choose Photoshop RAW from the format menu. Step number 2. In the Photoshop RAW options dialog box, do one of the following. If you use macOS, specify values for file type and file creator, or accept the default values. After that, specify a header parameter. After that, select whether to save the channels in an interleaved or non-interleaved order. How to save in BMP format? How to save in BMP format? By the way, the BMP format is an image format for the Windows operating system, and these images can range from black and white, 1 byte per pixel, by the way, up to 24 byte color and 16.7 million colors. And we have steps here now again. Step number 1, choose file, then choose Save As, then select BMP from the format menu. Step number 2, you should specify a file name and location firstly, then click Save. Step number 3. In the BMP options dialog box, you should select a file format, then specify the byte depth and, if necessary, select flip order. And for more options, click Advanced Modes and specify the BMP options. Step number 4, click OK. How to save in Cineon format, 16 byte images only. By the way, RGB images are 16 bytes per channel, can be saved in Cineon format for use in the codec Cineon film system. And you should choose file, then choose Save As and choose Cineon from the format menu, by the way. And how to save Targa format. How to save in Targa format? How to save in Targa format? By the way, the Targa format TGA format supports bitmap and RGB images with 8 bytes per channel, and it's designed, by the way, for True Vision and hardware, but it's also used in other applications. And we have steps here now. Step number 1, choose file, then select Save As and choose Targa from the format menu. Step number 2, you should specify a file name firstly and the location, then click Save. Step number 3. In the Targa options dialog box, select a resolution, then select the compress RLE option if you want to compress the file, and then click OK. Thank you so much.